Each and every one of us is blessed with an enormously powerful gift. And how we are going to use this gift very much depends on us. This magnificent gift can work either way. That is, it can bring growth and success, or defeat and failure, all depending on how we use it. Well, some of you may have already guessed it right, that the gift that I'm talking about here is our mind. Yes, our mind. The mind, essentially, is the tool that makes, molds, and shapes our future based on our thought patterns. In other words, the mind attracts and manifests into our lives what we predominantly think of and feel about. All through the years in my life, I have observed and very much convinced and understood that the lifestyle one lives is dependent on one's very thoughts and the way of thinking. Let's look at a simple example. Have you ever wondered why is a businessman's child becomes a businessman and take over the father's business someday? Or involved in some kind of other business instead of becoming a salaried worker? Likewise, a doctor's child becomes a doctor and even married to a doctor. Though there are some exceptions, in most of the cases, this is a common trend. Ever wondered why? And on the other hand, a middle-class parent's child becomes a middle-class citizen by working on a 9-to-6 job, which earns him or her a fixed monthly income. This trend is evident in about 95% of all cases in my observations. Well, if you're wondering why is such a trend taking place, then let's look at how the mind works and the role it plays in attracting and manifesting events in our lives. Our mind is divided into two parts, as they each have two vital roles. One part is called the conscious mind, and the other is called the subconscious mind, or unconscious mind. I prefer the word unconscious mind as it is more appropriate based on the role it plays in our daily lives and we're not conscious about it. Every day when we are awake, the conscious mind becomes active and receives various information and stimulus through our five senses. These five senses are the sensory of sight, touch, hear, smell, and taste. The informational input undeniably affects our emotions, making us happy, sad, joyful, distressed, and so on. The conscious mind is known as the thinking mind. It uses the ability to think and power of reasoning to evaluate a situation and makes informed decision on what the next course of action to be taken. The reasoning factor of this mind protects and safeguards one from dangers and helps to take necessary action every day. Meanwhile, the unconscious mind is the control center of our life. It is the powerhouse of human beliefs, emotions, and memories. Hence, it's also known as the emotional mind. Unlike the conscious mind, the unconscious mind has no ability to reject any idea. It accepts right away whatever idea or thought that has been impressed upon it with emotion. It does not evaluate and reason out. It operates using image and feelings and stores all information received in pictorial forms or images. What we think and believe, we become that. This is because the unconscious mind obeys whatever command given to it, be it positive or negative. To quote Brian Tracy, a Canadian-American motivational public speaker and self-development author, the unconscious mind is an unquestioning servant that works day and night to make your behavior fits a pattern consistent with your emotionalized thoughts, hopes, and desires. All your habits of thinking and acting are stored in your unconscious mind. In his psychoanalytic theory of personality, Sigmund Freud says that the unconscious mind is a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. According to him, the unconscious mind continues to influence our behavior and experience even though we are unaware of these underlying influences. Both minds work hand in hand like in a buddy system. Undoubtedly, they play an important role in our daily lives. In a snapshot, the conscious mind creates ideas, evaluates thoughts, selects best options, and accepts or rejects ideas. The unconscious mind accepts all ideas given to it, particularly emotionalized ideas, stores them in pictorial forms, and has no discrimination between real and imagined ideas. The mind concept can be better illustrated with Ernest Hemingway's theory of iceberg. The conscious mind is just a small part of the mind which does the functioning of thinking, reasoning, accepting or rejecting an idea. This part of the mind is dominant when we are awake, hence it's visible and we are aware. The major part of the mind which is silent and that we are unaware is the hidden part which we call the unconscious mind. It is a reservoir of accepted thoughts, feelings, memories of the past and external conditioning of people around us since we were born in this world. The mechanism of how the mind works can be better understood with Dr. Thurman Fried's stickman diagram. As in the diagram, the mind is represented by a circle. The top half is the conscious mind and the bottom half is the unconscious mind. The third part is the body through which an action is manifested based on the commands from the mind. As mentioned earlier, the information input of the conscious mind comes from the five senses. The process begins right from childbirth or perhaps even before that. When certain words are uttered to a child and affirmed repeatedly, the conscious mind of the child will accept it emotionally. The idea or substance of the word is passed down or submerged through the filters and enters the domain of the unconscious mind. Unlike its counterpart, the unconscious mind does not have filtering and reasoning power. It just accepts the impressed ideas from the conscious mind and stores them as program files, much similar to the program files of a computer. Similarly, events of the past and memories which have emotionally affected the person will be stored in as well. They will be treated as instructional commands for manifestation. Any idea, be it good or otherwise, will be processed and used in the shaping and modifying the behavior and destiny of a person. The sum total of programs held in the unconscious mind will dictate and shape the character of a person, which is reflected in one's action or behavior.